Hello everyone, my name is Jose Avalos. I'm an associate level designer community at Avalanche Software, and in this tutorial we will see some intermediate uses for Logic Gates, one of the new creativity toys we have put in Disney Infinity 2.0. So what is going to happen in this level is that we're going to get inside the stadium, and once we get inside we will fight enemies until we reach a certain amount, in which case all the enemies will die. The kicker is that all the enemies once die, they're gonna respawn and respawn and respawn over and over again. So what we will see in this tutorial is how to create infinitely respawning enemies using logic gates. So for that, first we need to first of all put some enemies. For that we will find in the ribbon, specifically in the creativity section, an enemy generator, which is right here. So we will place 2 in this level, so the player doesn't get too overwhelmed and you can see better what is going on. And then next we're gonna put some logic gates. The logic gates are gonna basically adjust and determine if the enemies will respawn. So what's gonna happen is that once I'm sorry, autosaves can sometimes take a little time. So what's gonna happen is once the enemy is defeated, it's gonna ask the logic gate, hey, can I keep spawning enemies? And if the answer is yes, which in that case the logic gate will do an output signal, then we will create new enemies. So we need to place a second logic gate around here, and also logic gate, and another toy we're gonna put is a time delayer. Time delayers are basically the amount of time that's going to happen between an enemy dying and a new enemy appearing, so the player can have some breathing room, you know, as a kind of a reward for defeating an enemy. Another toy which is important is the counter. This is going to determine how many enemies we kill until, we are done. And finally, an action enforcer, which we will use it for when the game is over. So, first things first. Once an enemy is defeated, the first thing we will need to do is increase the counter by 1. And why this first and not seeing the logic gate? Well, the reason is because creativity toys, all the actions that you see in here, right at the bottom of the screen, they are done in a sequential order, one by one. So if we ask the logic gate first, technically it would be okay. But what happens if it is the last enemy we need to kill? If that's the case, then first it's gonna check, okay, is the logic gate open? Okay, in that case create a new enemy. But just after that it's gonna increase the counter to 5, or whatever number it is you want it to be, which in that case it means, hey, no more enemies. So what's gonna happen is that technically the game is gonna be over, but there's gonna be one extra enemy. So that's why we first add the counter in order to, check the right number, and then we'll see if we can generate more enemies. So new logic connection, enemy defeated, and see input. Remember that logic gates by default are open, so we don't need to open it at first, so that's good. And now, if the gate is open, it will do an output event, which we will tie in to the time delayer. And the time delayer, how much time between killing an enemy and a new one appearing. So let's say 3 seconds. And now we'll make a new logic connection, delay completed. In that case we will make a new random enemy, random fodder enemy. Now we need to copy these connections in the exact same order. So new logic connection, enemy defeated. We increase the counter by 1, and now after that we will send an input to the logic gate. So let's do just that. And just like in the previous enemy generator, output will go to the time delayer, and let's change this thing here to 3. And now new logic connection, delay completed, and create a new random fodder enemy. So okay, now we have that the enemies are gonna be spawning until we have killed 5, and in that case there's gonna be no more enemies. But here's the thing, we still haven't done anything in the case we have reached 5 enemies. I'm just saying 5 because I just want to make this tutorial more or less short. So first we need to determine how many enemies we need to kill. So properties and target count. Target count we're going to put just 5. And now new logic connection. Once the target is reached, we will close this gate. So next time we kill an enemy, hey, can I keep spawning enemies? No. Okay, that's it. We will need to do the same thing for Logic Gate. For this one right here. So we will close it. And once we reach the target, another thing we will do is make the player celebrate. So celebrate. One final thing we need to do is that, okay, let's imagine that there's 2 enemies right here, and we kill the 5th one, and we want to get rid of the other one. How do we do that? So the thing is that once we close the gate, in that case close, we will remove all the enemies from the level. Remove all. And we need to do the same thing for this one right here. Remove. Alright, we're almost ready. Now we need to, spawn the enemies somehow. So we will place another one of our classic triggers that are familiar for anyone who has played in the toy box with the first Disney Infinity. I was looking for. So let's make it so that when it's stepped on by players, I don't want enemies to, accidentally generate more enemies. We will send an input to the gates associated with, spawning enemies. And the reason why we do this directly, instead of, just using logic, instead of just talking directly to the enemy generators, is because the logic gate already has all the behavior associated with creating new enemies. And the logic gates, remember that they are open by default. So, we're all set up and ready to go. Let's step on the trigger and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, and 2 enemies appear. Now all we need to do is just kill them quick. Oh. I can't do my special yet. And, well, Rocket isn't very good at hand-to-hand combat, so it's not as easy as if it were, I don't know, Hulk. Or Iron Fist, or basically anyone but Rocket. So I'm sorry if this takes a little bit in order to, get them all defeated, but we'll be over before you notice. So 4, and let's finally destroy this last enemy. As you can see, the enemies reappear after a few seconds of being defeated, which is exactly what we're looking for. And also, once they're all dead, we celebrate. Did you see that? Yes, I totally saw that, Rocket. So that was it for this tutorial. I hope you have found it useful. If you have any questions, please let me know by commenting on this video, and stick around for the advanced tutorial, which is going to be great. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope you have a great day.